continue this. All right, so we are in business. All right, so we're just about a couple seconds before 10. Well, and on this side anyway, so I'm just gonna get started. Awesome. So for those of you who are not familiar, interesting. This is kind of like a precursor, an introduction into the program. I think that's a link. Oops. So if you go to cantonlounge.com/academy, today's workshop will be kind of like, well, I feel like I can't speak English this morning. Yes, apparently, Andrew. I haven't actually gotten a chance to use Docker very much. I'm doing an extended learning session with TypeScript. Docker and the tool chain will have to wait later. Anyway, so today's going to be like a preview of what the program is going to be like. And hopefully if I can just select this, I can never use this properly. Yeah, TypeScript is awesome. And I'm actually trying to type Lambda, if anyone knows what that means. And let's see. Just to kind of reiterate, I know I've sent like, must have been a million emails, excuse me. I can't speak English this morning, the past couple of weeks. But the sign up, the enrollment deadline, if you haven't already done so, is Sunday the 7th of April, and just before midnight in 2019. Okay. And the program goes at not 47, but just 27 per month for now. So getting the details out of the way, right? So we can get started right now. This is so hard to actually do. Okay. So to dive right into it, hopefully I didn't spend too much time doing the setup. I have 3 objectives. First of all, I do want to introduce Canton Lounge Academy, but we're going to do that like right at the end of this hour, because we want to get through all of the content first. Second of all, I want to show you guys what it's like to learn past a beginner's level. So after you typically go through some of your introductory materials, whether that be, I don't know, Teach Yourself Cantonese is one of my favorite texts, or the Teach Yourself series, if you haven't used it, that's great. But it only lasts you for so long, right? Because it's a book. So after you do that, what's next? I want to talk a little bit about that. So that's the bulk of our content today. And the third thing I want to do, we have someone else joining. Hey, TY, good morning. So the third thing I want to do is to address some concerns that I received from readers at different points in time who have sent in questions. They're like saying, I'm interested in this, but I have some questions, and I just thought I might gather these questions in one place and address them all in one place, because it's a little bit easier to do so instead of like having to respond to the same questions over and over again. All right. So to give you guys a bit of a preview in terms of what we're going to do today, this is going to be me going through a clip, one of the typical formats of a typical workshop in the program. And so basically an introduction, every single month in the program, we do a workshop, or maybe 2, right? It will depend. And in those workshops, I either go through maybe a lesson material or a portion of it, because it's just too long for me to go through everything, right? Just like in the previous workshop that we had just 1 week ago, exactly 1 week ago. Or I take like a clip from the internet. It's a native clip. And so folks they might spend a little bit of time. They might struggle a little bit understanding because it's a native clip. So I just wanted to go through some of the things that might pop up in exactly the same format. Or a third format I go through previously is I focus on one aspect of learning. So for example, one of my favorite workshops I did was listening, because listening is one of the topics that we don't talk very much about. And we did one, I think it was like 3-4 months ago. My timeline blurs, but it's something like we did in the past, right? So these are the 3 formats of workshops that we do. And today I wanted to expand and give you guys a preview of what the second format looks like. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So everyone heard that, and so this is kind of the level of clip that might be interesting to look at. This is a topic that I find interesting at the very least. So let's dive into the transcript, my favorite portion of it. Any questions so far? None yet, right? Hopefully none. But feel free just to type in the chat box if anyone has any questions at any point in time. It's better than if you like save out questions at the end, because like I could answer you right away versus we have a whole bunch of questions, but whatever way matches suits you. Okay. So today there's no Yuping, but since you're listening to me explain this, I don't think that's necessary. So if you can't follow Chinese, great. If you can't, just listen to what I have to say. All right. And if you do have like a notepad or something, feel free to take notes because there's going to be a small quiz afterwards to test if you guys are listening properly. All right. So in the clip, we start off with 80後嘅 Kathy. So 80後means in like the someone who's born in the 1980s, right? Or after. So you could have 60後啦, or 60後, 70後, 80後, 90後. And then we've got the millennials, which is like 千禧年代, right? So 80後嘅 Kathy 讀大學嘅時候, so when she's in university, 識咗嚟香港做交換生嘅老公。識咗 she met. And once again, we have our old friend relative clauses. Anytime you see 嘅, immediately think we have to swap the order, right? So, in English, we say things like the apple that is red, right? In Cantonese, you say red, ge apple. Trivial example, but it's a similar idea. So saying 老公, something ge 老公. 老公is husband. So a husband that went to Hong Kong to be an exchange student. 交換生 is an exchange student. And 老公係荷蘭第三代華僑. So the husband is in Holland. 第三代is a third generation Chinese immigrant. Is that how you say it in English? Excuse me, like a Chinese ethnic Chinese, but born and raised, in Holland. 女女喺香港出世半年之後. So the daughter, after like half a year, 半年之後, after she was born in Hong Kong, 出世 is to be born, right? Makes sense. 出 is to come out, appear. 世 is the world. Appear in the world is to be born. And sometimes Cantonese or Chinese is actually a fairly logical language. And which is why for Asian people, sometimes it could be very difficult to learn vocabulary, like base languages where you have words that just seem randomly pieced together from 26 letters of the alphabet or more in different languages. Anyway, continuing, 就決定移居荷蘭. So after just half a year after their daughter was born, they decided to 移居, to immigrate, right? 移 is like 移動, which means to move. 居 is to live in, slightly more formal word. 移居去荷蘭 in Holland, so they decided to move to Holland. 我老公呢就喺呢一度長大. So my husband grew up here. 我哋兩個都覺得 both of us feel that 呢度對小朋友嘅成長, this place, Holland, is in terms of a child's upbringing, a child's growth, right? 對 means in terms of, right? 佢會輕鬆啲, 開心啲咯. So the child will become a little bit more relaxed in terms of their upbringing and a little bit happier. Right? 今年6月呢, so this year in June, 就啱啱好1年啦. It's exactly 1 year since we moved to Holland. 荷蘭俾人第一個印象, so the first impression, 第一個印象 is first impression, right? That Holland gives to people is 係社會文化開放, 社會 is society. So the culture in society is very open. 開放 is open, right? And also 精通多國嘅語言。精通 is to have a complete mastery of 多國語言 probably I guess languages from many countries。咁2013年嘅聯合國兒童基金會嘅報告就指出 ，so the report from I think this is UNESCO, right? The United Nations Child Fund. I don't remember the exact abbreviation, but you guys get what that is, right? A report from 2013 from this organization and pointed out 指出 and this is a really easy word to remember. We're trying to remember vocab, right? So because 指 is to point, 出 is out. So point out 指出. Isn't that fun sometimes? Cantonese words. Continuing anyway. 荷蘭係富裕國家之中 so something 之中 means among or amongst, if you want to get all fancy. So among all the rich countries, all the developed countries, all the wealthy countries, Holland is 最快樂兒童嘅第一位. So on a scale of the happiest children, an index of happiest children, it is in the first place. Continuing. 因為我住嘅城市就係烏德勒支啦 because I live in a city called Utrecht, I think that's how you say it. It's probably not how you say it. 最大嘅特色咧就係 Miffy 啦。One of the biggest characteristics or specialty of the city is Miffy. Did you guys know that Miffy was actually invented or drawn, illustrated by a Dutch artist? I didn't know that. I thought it was Japanese, quite frankly. But anyway, yeah, it didn't seem Japanese. But now we all know. 呢度啲博物館同香港最大嘅分別咧 So the museums here, 博物館 is museum, 同香港最大嘅分別 So the biggest difference, right? Once again, we see 嘅 So we have to put this in front and everything before 嘅 after. Inversion, in other words. So the difference, that is the biggest between here, i.e. Holland and Hong Kong, is that 佢就真係唔係一個俾你淨係參觀一啲展品 So it's not a museum where you only 淨係 tour, exhibit, 參觀一啲展品 what you look only at what's showcased. 展品 is like exhibits, right? 同埋主題嘅博物館 and themes. So it's not something that you just look at, right? 可以增加親子關係或者父母同仔女之間嗰個互動 It can also increase 親子關係. So 親 is parent, 子 is children. So parent-child or parent-children relationship, or 父母同仔女之間嗰個互動 or the interaction between parents and children. 咁其實荷蘭咧 in reality, Holland 基本上咧 it's basically 一年入邊有10個月都係陰天嘅 There are 10 months, in a year, 10 months, basically it's all cloudy. 咁陰天我哋唔可以唔可以坐喺出邊曬太陽啦 So when it's cloudy, when the weather isn't so good, we can't sit outside to under the sun and sunbathe, right? 曬太陽 曬 is like to shine, to have sunshine shone on you in this case 又唔可以喺公園玩 nor can we play in the park, right? Bad weather 博物館大部分嚟講咧 So for the most part, museums 2歲以下都係免費嘅 So below 2 years of age, it's free 一個月都會帶 Annabelle 嚟7-8次咯 So in 1 month, we'll typically take Annabelle, their daughter, maybe 7-8 times 咁小朋友可以話去到邊度玩到邊度 So we can almost say that children, wherever they go, they basically play and have fun wherever they go. They can have fun wherever they go. 咁餐廳咧係為小童而設嘅休憩空間 So the restaurant is 休憩空間 So once again, we get ge here. So remember, once again, we invert. So this goes in front, and whatever is in front goes after. 休憩空間 means a resting area, an area that's designated just for kicking back and relaxing. And it's a resting area that's 為小童而設, is designed especially for children, right? Something 而設 is it's targeted towards or designed for particular group of people. So there are things like 玩具 toys, 毛公仔啊. I think people say like plush toys, or there might be another word, I don't remember. 任攞任玩, so you can feel free to take whatever you want and play with whatever you want. 簡單嘅一張墊台紙, so even something as basic as 墊台紙, so 墊台紙, 墊 is to cushion, I guess, have a layer between a surface and something else. 墊台, 台 is table, 紙 is paper, so a piece of paper that you lay on top of the table. 亦都係隱藏版嘅填色畫紙. It's also a hidden 隱藏 means hidden. 版 is version 嘅填色畫紙. 填色畫紙 is like coloring paper. 畫紙, 畫 is picture. Excuse me. 填 is to fill in. 色 is color. So fill, color, draw paper is coloring paper. Again, Cantonese is very delightful. So continuing, 我好鍾意小朋友. I personally really like children. 即係都想組織大家庭嘅. I also want to organize, or in this case, to build up a big family. 咁我覺得呢度, so I feel that this place, this place being Holland, 有足夠嘅空間, so there's sufficient space and 同資源 and also resources 可以俾我做呢一樣嘢嘅. So there's sufficient space and resources that allow me to do this. This meaning this, right? To organize, to set up, to build up a big family. 咁我諗佢呢度會有一個好快樂嘅童年咯. So I think that 佢 referring to Annabelle, their daughter, here will have a very happy childhood. 童年 is childhood. 童 means child, 年 means year, so child year, childhood. Makes sense, right? 你見到呢度啲草地唔係奢侈品咯. And so the grass, the lawns here that you see, they're not extravagances, right? They're just normal places that anyone can go to, anyone can access. 咁同埋呢邊咧, and also over here, 5歲之前嘅小朋友, so once again, 嘅, we invert. 小朋友, so children that are 5 or below, 都唔需要係限定係一定要返學嘅. So they do not need to be limited to have to go to school. So they don't necessarily have to study, go to school. 冇乜嘢學前班啊, so there's nothing like preschool. So 學前班, breaking it down, 學 means to learn. 前 is before, pre. 班 is a class. Learn before class, so pre-learn class, preschool. Kind of makes sense, right? Because you're not really doing any learning. It's kind of just prepping you to take on more challenging things to do once you get to primary school. 亦都冇乜嘢特別嘅活動啊. There's also no activities that are special or noteworthy in particular. 要學啲乜嘢啊? How, like, this is, if you have been to Hong Kong or familiar, it's very typical for parents to send their kids to learn different things after school, to take remedial classes, to do extended classes, advanced classes, to learn to play an instrument, to do sports, it's just crazy. And how do I know this? Because I grew up in Hong Kong and I had the same thing done to me. But in Holland, in comparison, you don't really have to do that, right? 身邊嘅人唔會做呢啲嘅嘢. So 身邊嘅人would be folks around you, the people,身邊, sun is body, 邊 is around or edge. So the people around your body, people around you, 唔會做呢啲嘢嘅咯. So they won't do things like that. 咁反而你做嘅話咧，你會係一個異類. So if you actually do that, if you actually send your kids to do stuff like that, to take remedial classes and whatnot, you will become a 異類. 異 means abnormal or something that's out of the ordinary. 類 is type, so you'll be like an abnormal type of parent. 咁變咗咪個家長 and so what happens is that the parents 其實每一日會做嘅嘢就係陪小朋友玩啫嘛. So basically what this translates to is that what a parent does every day is to play with their children, right? Instead of taking them to crazy classes and learn like a million things and stuff, maybe make your kids multilingual. I guess in Holland you actually get that for free. How nice. 小朋友讀書壓力亦都相對比較少. So children, their academic pressure, 讀書 is to study, 壓力 is pressure, 壓 is to press, like physically press on something, right? And like is like a force or power. So a force of pressing is pressure. Makes sense, right? 亦都相對比較少. So relatively speaking, 相對 is relatively, it's less relative to, different places. In this case, Hong Kong, because she's from Hong Kong. 荷蘭人亦都有語言優勢. So people from Holland also have a language advantage, a linguistic advantage, right? 優勢 is advantage. 優 means great, good, better. 勢 is like a force, like a trend. So a good force is an advantage. 就係中學規定必須修讀英文、法文，仲有德文, which is in secondary school, it's obligatory to 修讀 is to choose for your studies English, French, and of course German. 3 most popular and important European languages, well, in Europe. 我覺得始終都係睇返你個人有冇咁樣嘅語言天分或者你鍾唔鍾意咯. So I feel that at the end of the day, 始終 very important word, 都係睇返你. So it depends on whether you personally, 你個人有冇咁樣嘅語言天分. If you have any kind of a linguistic gift, talent, and if you've been following me or Cantonese for a while, this is a stance I vehemently am opposed to. There's no such thing as linguistic talent, only interest and effort. 或者你鍾唔鍾意 or whether you like it or not. 好似我老公咁嘅. So like my husband, for example, 佢法文佢就繼續學. So and for French, he's continuing to learn it. And this is a good example of topicalization. If you remember from the past, so instead of saying he continues to learn French, 佢繼續學法文, you can change and put the topic at the beginning of a sentence so that becomes 法文佢繼續學, which is a very common pattern if you want to emphasize something in Cantonese. 因為佢喺一間法國公司嗰度做嘢, because in a French company where he works at, 咁佢而家法文好流利嘅, so his French is fluent, 都會係一個優勢咯. It's going to be an advantage, 變相就變咗, 變相 it's kind of hard to explain it. It becomes, right? So curious. Does anyone speak French on this call? Do you have any? Est-ce qu'il y a des francophones aujourd'hui? No? Okay, no worries. Just as a side note. Continuing. 政府有育兒津貼. So the government has 育兒津貼, excuse me. 育 means to raise, to bring up. 兒 is child, right? 津貼 is kind of like a close word I can think of as stipend. There might be a different word used in different parts of the world, but so basically the government gives you like an allowance, so it might be a more generic word. So an allowance for having a child. So every 3 months, 每3個月, 每 is every, 就有大約200歐元. There's around 200 euros, which is actually not bad, right? For free. Well, not really free since you get taxed a lot. 可以買奶粉同生活用品. So you can use that money to buy things like milk powder and 生活用品, daily supplements until 直到你18歲, until you're 18, right? 咁夠使有剩, which is it's enough for spending. Actually, it's not only enough, you actually have left over. 因為尿片400蚊一個月, because 尿片 is like diapers. 尿 is 片 is like a sheet. So a sheet that holds it is a diaper. 400蚊一個月 it's $400 for 1 month. 唔平買呢個片. So buying diapers in Holland is most certainly not it's not cheap. 咁佢就由細到大咧，都而家都食人奶啦。So ever since she was a kid, so Annabelle, so their child, was a kid, even though she's still now a kid. She's been fed, breast milk. And 咁我哋唔使奶粉錢啦. So that's why we don't actually need the money. We don't use the money to buy milk powder. 咁如果你話生活費咧, so in terms of 生活費, so living expenses, right? 生活 is life, 費 is fee, so life fee, living expenses, makes sense, right? 亦都唔係話特別貴嘅, so it's not particularly expensive. 通常咧, 我平均每個月淨係使300蚊歐羅. So on average, 平均 is average. Every month, I typically spend 300 euros. So you'll hear two versions of euros. One is 歐元. 歐 is European. Excuse me, yuan is dollar, which is a generic term. You'll hear things like 港元. So if you hear the news, the financial news at any time, if anyone's interested in that stuff, you'll hear the forex. Excuse me. Portion, you'll hear things like 港元, Hong Kong dollar. What else? 美元, US dollars, 歐元, or European dollars, or euro. But 歐羅 is like a transliteration of euro, right? It kind of sounds like 歐羅, euro. Anyway, 咁就已經食得好. So even for 300 euros, you actually eat quite well. 即係3餸1湯嘅晚餐咯. So you get typically 3 dishes with, soup, right? For dinner, which is a typical setup for a Chinese meal. 咁交好多稅嘅, so the tax is actually quite heavy. 交 is to pay, to hand over, right? 排第10嘅其實. It's ranked 10 in terms of the most heavily taxed regions in the world. 10之內, or it's within 10. 3成半啦. So that's 35%. So just be careful in the percentages if you're not already aware of this. 一成 is not 1%. 一成 is 10%. So 三成 is 30%. 三成半 is 35%. So when you express percentages in this manner in Cantonese, you typically don't go with the small numbers. You just do increments of 5. So 75% is 七成半. 60% is 六成. So you don't say things like 62%, for example. If you want to say that, you just say 62%. 百分之 is out of 100. 62, 62%. 咁生活喺一個自由教育 so to live in a free education 性文化開放嘅社會 once again we have 嘅 so we put that in front and everything else goes after 嘅 so in a society where education is fairly free, by free I don't mean like you don't have to pay, but in terms of liberal free 性文化開放 where the sex culture is very open as well. 但係荷蘭青少年意外地懷孕比率 but for Holland teenagers, for them to get 意外 is accident, 懷孕 is pregnant, the ratio of that happening is actually fairly low, 偏低。咁記者喺當地書店 so the reporter in local bookshop bought a book 圖書 that is 適合4至5歲小童嘅性教育嘅圖書 so he bought a book that's designed to teach this to children for like 4 to 5 years old 咁睇下有咩原因 to understand why this ratio is low 咁爸爸有冇睇過呢啲書啊 the dad, so the reporter is asking that the dad ever read books like that when he was growing up in Holland 細個嗰陣時會有嘅 so when I was a kid, yeah 有啲同學仔會俾嘅偷偷地咁啦 so some classmates will typically give it to you, but in secret. 因為小朋友咧，佢哋求知欲好強啊嘛。Because for children, their desire for knowledge. So 求 means to want, right? To demand. 知 is 知識 which is knowledge. 欲 is desire, so their desire to gain knowledge is strong. 咁反而你有啲嘢咧，你係唔想俾佢知嘅。So there are some things that you might typically not want them to know. 咁佢就咪越想去知咯。But if you do that, you suppress that, they'll want to know these things more. 咁如果你一早話咗俾佢知嘅 but so if you tell these things to your children right from the onset of it, 即係好似啲性嘅嘢 so for example, things related to sex, 其實 in reality, 咁例如佢會睇爸爸沖 so for example, children might watch their dad take a shower, 佢睇爸爸沖涼 similarly for mom, 係啊。And the dad was like saying, this has to be should be taken off the record, right? It's not really off the record. The mom continues to say, 我覺得冇嘢，即係我自己少少教佢嘅理念啦。So the principle upon which I educate my children is 係雖然呢個社會好自由啦 even though this society is fairly free, it's liberal, 我都俾好多自由佢啦。I also give them a lot of freedom. 有幾個字我一定會記住嘅。So there are a few words I keep in mind at all times. 適時管教咯。So 適時管教 is like an idiom. It means to teach in a way that's appropriate to that stage in development for the child. So 18歲前你可以有男朋友咯。So for example, for their daughter, before 18, yes, you can have a boyfriend, but 但係我唔會俾佢喺男朋友嗰邊過夜嘅咯。But I won't allow her to spend the night, over with her boyfriend. 係啦。Cool. So that's the clip. Does anyone has any questions? Is this clear? Crystal clear? 100%? You guys are all remember everything that we talked about just now. No, but in seriousness, no questions? Nothing? All right, cool. So moving on to the next segment of this workshop then. So just to kind of test or to kind of refresh our memories in terms of some of the main words we went through in the clip, I've written a couple sentences down. So just read the sentences in Cantonese, and if you guys want to jump in and type what it means in English, that would be great. So I've written 12 sentences here, and hopefully many of you will participate. Okay. So the first word is 華僑. So for example, I might say 佢係越南嘅華僑，咁所以佢廣東話講得非常之流利。So what does 華僑 mean? Anyone? 華僑. Vietnam is Vietnam. Why is it doing that? Good Lord. Ethnic Chinese immigrant. Yes, that is correct. So what about the whole sentence? What did that mean? 咁佢係越南華僑啦，咁所以廣東話非常之流利。我仲以為佢係香港人添。Translation? Typically, we do this from English to Cantonese, but I don't think we have time to do so many of that. Maybe this might work a little bit better if folks can speak, but yeah, this is more like because there are people. Oh, cool, TY. So he is an ethnic Chinese immigrant, so his Cantonese is fluent. Almost seems like a Hong Kong person. Great, awesome. Moving on, second one, 啱啱好。呢個湯底嘅味道調得啱啱好。So what does 啱啱好mean? Anyone else? Just about? Yes, like exactly right. So what about that small short sentence? 呢個湯底嘅味道啱啱好. What does that mean? My favorite topic, food. I love talking about food. Is that familiar? 湯底嘅味道. These words. I'm just going to give a buffer, maybe. Oh, no worries. 湯. So 湯底. Tong is soup, that's right, TY, and dai is like bottom, literally, but in this case, it means base. So tong dai means soup base, and 味道 is flavor, or yeah, like the flavor basically. 咁唔會 yeah, I think that's it. Awesome. Moving on. 精通. Let's see. So the soup flavor is just about okay. Yes, that's right. So the flavor of the soup base was seasoned just right. So it's not too salty, it's not too sweet. Moving on. The third word. 精通. 如果係你嘅話 ，example sentence，你會精通5種語言啦，抑或學識流利咁講12種語言呢？ Actually, a question I might ask you guys. Two questions there. What does 精通 mean? And second of all, which would you choose? So once again, the sentence is 如果係你嘅話，你會精通5種語言啦，定係會學識流利咁講12種語言呢？ Any brave volunteers? Again, just 10-20 seconds of buffer time. 如果係你嘅話 yep, if it was you, were you want to be very, very precise and use a subjunctive. 你會精通5種語言. So what do you think this has to do with? 你會精通5種語言啦，定係會流利咁講12種語言呢？ So what does 語言 mean? You guys know 語言. I think this is a common word. Language. Yep, that's right. So what can you do with language? So I'm offering a choice here. Choice 1, 精通5種語言. Choice 2, 流利咁講12種語言. So what are these options that we have? Think back to the clip we just looked at. In Holland, what is one of the specialties that are language related that you could only find in Holland? Lots of languages. Yep, that's right. And what do people do with lots of languages? What state are they in? What is Holland typically known as? So 精通 it means to master and like to have a complete and utter mastery in something. So two choices were 精通5種語言, would you master 5 languages? Or 2, 流利咁講12種語言, to speak 12 languages fluently. The fluency isn't really mastery, right? So fun choice. Out of curiosity, how would you guys choose? Would you choose to master fewer languages or to be fluent in more languages? Emma says fluent in more. Cool. TY says master 5. Captain goes 12 and 1 alone. It's awesome. I guess it's different for everyone, which is why language learning is fun thing to pay attention to. Like I mean, there are so many combinations, and everyone is unique in that sense. So, anywho, continuing. I think those are 2 good words. 富裕, the first one, and the second one is 童年. Okay, so the sample sentence is 雖然我唔係喺一個富裕嘅家庭出世，但係我嘅童年都算幾幸福。就雖然once again，雖然我唔係喺一個富裕嘅家庭出世，但係我嘅童年算幾幸福。Sample translations, brave volunteers. 雖然我唔係on the right track， 雖然我唔係喺富裕嘅家庭出世，但係我嘅童年都算幾幸福。富裕 even though I was very clever too, even though I wasn't in a full yu household growing up great, my childhood was very happy. Yep. So 幸福 is like happy. I don't know actually if happy is a good word. These are very difficult to translate. Anyway, 富裕 is 有錢, right? 富裕 means wealthy or abundant at the very least. And 童年 is childhood, by the way. Very useful word. I think I'm going to do maybe one more. The next one, I wonder if you guys can remember this one. 休憩空間. So 呢一個休憩空間係俾老人家用嘅，咁所以好少見到小朋友。So what is 休憩空間? So once again, in Cantonese, 呢個休憩空間係俾老人家用嘅，咁所以好少見到小朋友。Yeah, stop a couple seconds for buffer time. Something that is for old people, so rarely see. Yeah, that's actually right. So what do you think 休憩空間 might mean? Is 空間 familiar? 空間? Give you guys a clue. Yes, TY, space, that's right. So what is 休憩? So think of it just from a logical, just try and imagine, right? This is X space, that's for old people, so you very rarely see kids. What kind of a space is it? Open space is a good guess, but that's not quite it. Let's think back to the clip. What kind of space was abundant in Holland? Actually, open space was one of the things, but there's another space that we talked about. There's a space for people to X. What kind of a space is that in Holland? No one? Okay, no worries. So 休憩空間 means a space to rest, like a resting space, like a park or something like that, right? It's or I guess just a place for people to kick back and relax. Doesn't necessarily have to be a park. Yeah. All right. So I guess that's about it for this portion. Does anyone else have any questions about the content that we went through? Anything that wasn't clear? Wants clarification, deserves clarification? No, nothing? All right. So I'm going to move on to the next portion of it. So this today was kind of a preview. This is kind of like a preview of you guys of what it's like in the program. So some of you guys are already in the program, so you know exactly what we're talking about. But for those of you who aren't, this is a sample of a workshop that you typically get in the program, in addition to the things that we talked about last week, which is, I thought I saw a flicker. No, it was just my imagination. So to give you guys a slightly better idea, let me show you guys what you actually get in the program. So this is the members area. It's very, very straightforward to navigate. As you can see, there's like posts where I do announcements and where I post like workshop replays. Like in February, we did one with TV dramas that featured Cantonese particles. In January, we did one that was, I just don't remember what we did in the previous workshop. That might have been like a listening one. That's my favorite one, by the way. I don't know about you guys, and then, so that's one part of it. There's also a Slack channel where members can talk to each other, and you can also have a direct line to me. You can feel free to ask me questions anytime. And of course, we have the main bulk of the content of the program, which is all of these good stuff. So you can go in there, and each one of these lessons, they come with typically a recording that you can play. SoundCloud, the quality is fairly okay, if I have to say so myself. There's also a Quizlet deck for every episode and a workbook, right? So you can follow along. And the workbook is really, just for that alone, it's worth, I feel, the majority of the content or the value of the program. The Quizlet deck looks like this. There are 3 decks per lesson, and the reason there are 3 decks is because some people asked for it. In the beginning, there was only 2. I think right from the very start, we planned on 1, which is English and Chinese. But then people were like, oh, can we have Yuping decks as well? Sure, why not? It doesn't actually take me that much more. So there's a Chinese to English deck, there's a Chinese to Yuping deck, and there's like an English to Yuping deck. So if you're at a point where you're like, I'm not too comfortable working with characters yet, perfectly fine. You can just go to Yuping, although I would not recommend it. That is an option. So you can see, it's just your very typical vocabulary deck, and there are a couple of really fun exercises that you can do with it. So that's something I like. There's also an option to export if you are used to using something else like Anki. It's an app I used to use until I discovered Quizlet, and then lo and behold, I abandoned Anki. Besides, if you've used Anki before, if you haven't gone back to it for a long time, there'll be like 1,000 cards waiting for you or something, which is like impossible to get through. So, not so good. So that's Quizlet, and in the sample lesson, I think I just showed you guys. We typically start off with. I wonder if I can show you guys. Let me open this up then. This is, yeah. Oh, whoops. Wrong application. If I could just open this up. Right application. So this is typically what workbook looks like. So you start off with a cover. I didn't design it, someone else did. And we start with your typical table of contents. You can flip through it to whatever section you want. I have a couple of suggestions. There's usually a lesson checklist in the full episode. There's also a transcript with all of the Yuping overlaid on top beautifully, if I might have to say so myself. This is actually very difficult to accomplish, and I feel like this alone is worth like the price for the entire program. This, I had to actually write a plugin for Google Docs, which I used for publishing in order to do this, which was fairly annoying to do because Google Docs does not provide a very good platform for you to do that. Anyway, there is that. So it's for your reference. If you want to do characters, you can do that. If you don't, you could use the romanization. And afterwards, you could also have a look at the next section where you get like translations between Chinese and English. And afterwards, that's the next section, so you can follow along if you don't understand. If you want to go back and check your understanding just from listening. So it's very flexible, as you can see, how you can use this, right? There's also translation practice, where you typically are presented with a sentence. Again, you can use this however you want. If you say, I'm confident with my Cantonese, I'll go from English to Cantonese, because that's a harder thing to do, right? If you're not, you can go from Cantonese to English and check your understanding. Or if you just want to practice your reading, you can use this as extra reading practice. The sentences are short, so you can see, this is like good character practice, character recognition practice, right? And afterwards, there's also a section for comprehension where I typically write questions. They're like usually 7-8 questions. They're not long. And then you could either write a response, once again, if you're comfortable with Cantonese. If not, you can just say the response, record it, say it to yourself, check it with a teacher. It doesn't matter. But the questions are there to kind of check your understanding. Or you can use this as reading practice, right? So it's very, very flexible in terms of how you use it. And if you feel like you're not confident enough, you can just skip the output parts and you just focus on the transcripts and the English translations. Right? Very flexible. You can do characters, no characters, just Yuping, English, no English, whatever. And of course, there's like a very handy vocab list at the end of the day that you could reference, which is pretty awesome, if I have to say so myself, that are present in the Quizlet decks as well. Okay. So this is the majority of the program. There are 3 episodes with all the what you call, with all the workbooks and Quizlet decks and recordings and all that kind of good stuff. But just to kind of show you guys what this looks like in real life, and I'm going to start my video. Hopefully I'm somewhat presentable and decent. Hey guys, so this is the majority of the program that you guys can get. These 3 big folders is basically Campbell Lunch Academy for now. This is the content for 7 months of work. And we're going to keep on expanding it. So you have tons of materials to choose from and to work with. So to kind of like flip through, these are actually very thick ones. Not actually, if you guys are in the program already, or if you're interested in becoming a member, I'd advise you to print them out because they're a lot easier to navigate and to work with, because it's just more tiring to go through PDFs and whatnot. And if I just take like a sample lesson out of this, it's basically what you just saw, right? Hopefully you guys can see that. So there's the lesson checklist, there's the lesson transcript with all the ping and whatnot, and there's like the translations, as you can see. There is the quiz portion of the section. Hopefully I can flip. And then there's things like translation exercise. I think those are translation exercises. And then of course we have the vocab list, right? So there's a ton of material in there. There's no lack of materials for you guys, and you can work with it however you want. So that's my little introduction to the program. So I would encourage you guys to check it out at cantonlounge.com/academy, as you can see in the link below. So I'm going to stop this and get back to this. So last but not least, I want to go through some of the more commonly asked questions, because I've been getting some from readers and it might be cool to address them. So the most common question I got over the past 2-3 weeks was, is my level of Cantonese enough to use these materials? Because when I demoed this in cantonlounge.com/academy on that page, I have a video demoing this. People are like, that's a lot of materials to work with. And I'm like, yes, it is, and it's designed for that reason. It's designed such that you could be a beginner all the way up to an advanced learner and still use the materials. And the reason you can do that is because you can choose. So I wanted this to be applicable to all learners, such that it would appeal even to the most advanced learners, but still be accessible to a beginner learner. So the advanced learner might be able to finish everything in the lesson, but the beginner learner will typically take a small portion of it and focus on that. So you might just listen to the clip, take a small portion of it in the Yuping and the English translations, and work through it and understand it. And that's it. And you leave everything else. The idea is that through volume and repetition, you'll be able to accelerate your progress in just a couple of months versus spreading it through a long time. And for those of you who are already members, this is a good reminder of why we're doing this. This is a program that's designed to accelerate your progress. And the more effort you put in, the more you'll get out of it. It's just as simple as that. And there's no I don't impose any learning style or there's no judgment or expectation or whatnot. You feel free to go at this program however you want. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out. But the point is, the materials are available so you don't have to hunt for things again, right? And we go through different topics every week, so there's a good selection of stuff there. So that's the first question I got. And if I'd say that if you just spend about 3 hours, I think, every week, which I feel is reasonable, you could spend like half an hour every day, which I still feel is reasonable, or like maybe an hour, 3 sessions every week, again, reasonable, or just do 3 hours straight up. A little bit harder, but still doable. Then you can get through the program really, really well. And recently I've been working a little bit on my Japanese, and I've really felt the power of consistency. Even just spending 20 minutes in the subway listening to Japanese it really helped me to keep up. And I'm actually working on a small project, on a side note, to memorize about 3,000 words in about 5-6 months, which I feel is doable. Because if you get that consistency and repetition, you can do that very well. And it doesn't take a lot of time. And people saying, you must spend like tens of hours every day learning language. No, we don't. So just spending that little bit of time for every day, a couple times a week, can really make a difference. Second question I get is, I'm already working with a teacher. How does this program help me? So I personally say, I'll say that I agree having a teacher can help. I have a teacher, but there's only so much that you can do with a teacher. And while having a teacher is helpful, it's not as helpful if you rely solely on a teacher to give you knowledge. because you want to do things that are interesting to you, and you can't do that in the scope of a lesson, right? So I would always advise learners to supplement their lessons with the teachers with doing something on their own that's interesting and that could really help them move forward. Question number 3. I like the program, but it seems like there's a lot to digest in Cantonese Academy. So once again, the content is a lot, right? It's a ton. The transcripts are long, and there's like each booklet is like 45 pages, around that size. But once again, the point is not to go through everything. You don't overwhelm yourself by trying to go through everything. You just take a portion of what interests you and go through that, and that's it. You might just listen to it, understand it in English, and that's it. You just want increased exposure at the beginning stages. Or the advanced stages, you could do more output, translations, and things, stuff like that. It's perfectly good. It just depends on what you want and how intense you want to go through it. So that's question number 3. Question number 4, I feel this program may be too fast for me. I'm a bit worried I can't catch up. So there are 3 episodes every month, and with a workshop. And we might change up that ratio because I feel like some members might actually prefer workshops more. But the fact of the matter is that I don't, okay? This is in school, and I don't impose any sort of learning style or things like that on you guys. So you can feel free to work through it however you want, at whatever pace you're comfortable with. So there really is no judgment, pressure, expectations, or whatnot. So from that sense, this concern, I feel this is too fast. It's not really a valid concern because no one expects anything except for what you expect of yourself. And I feel like finally a miscellaneous question: how long should I subscribe for? I'm interested. And how long will this program last? I would recommend subscribing for a year. That's when I feel you'll get a lot of good results. But you could do it however you want. You could cancel whenever you don't feel like continuing, or you feel like I can graduate from the program. And how long will this program last? I would like to keep the membership alive, but I don't know if I can keep this running forever. So, while it lasts, I would invite you to join, because we're doing this at a very discounted price. Originally, I thought this has to be worth at least $47, guys. You've seen the amount of content that goes in there. But, for loyal readers of Cantonese, I thought, since we're all part of this small special community, I'm just going to do it at $27 a month. And this pricing will go up. I will not make this price available again. So hopefully, if you guys are interested, you'll want to lock this in at this price and try the program out. So that's about it for me today. Hopefully, if we've accomplished the 3 objectives, I've introduced the Cantonese Academy program to you guys. We've gone through a clip, and to give you a preview of what a workshop typically looks like, or one possible workshop looks like in the program. And third of all, I addressed, I think, some of the major concerns, because they're so repetitive that I felt, there's no point of me. While I did answer them one by one, I thought I might aggregate them and tell you guys what I think about these concerns. Right. Does anyone else have any questions before we end this? We're a little bit over time. Hopefully that's... Any questions about content we've discussed? Anything else? So I'm not seeing any, and we've had opportunities for folks to send questions in via chat. If anyone does have any follow-up questions, feel free to email me at support or baggio@cantolange.com, and I will get back to you. And for members, I will see you guys. The next episode will be released very soon. That's episode 21. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the other side of the program. This has been fun. And I think I'll be posting a replay for those folks who can't make it. So once again, thank you so much for taking 1 hour out of your precious weekend to do this. So hopefully I've been able to add some value to your Cantonese learning journey. Oh, no worries, Emma and TY. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And that's it for me for now. Have a great weekend, guys. Take care.